Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into a phenomenon that is absolutely staggering in its scale. I mean, literally staggering. We're going to take a really close look at how the beautiful game, football, manages to completely transcend borders, cultures, and even politics to become this incredible, unstoppable force for global unity. It's going to be a fun one.
But first, I've got a question for you. What language is spoken by half the planet? Seriously, think about it for just a second. What single cultural phenomenon actually has the power to bind so many wildly diverse nations, completely different generations together? I'll give you a hint. It isn't English or Mandarin or Spanish.
The answer is football. Yeah, football. With an astonishing 4 billion fans worldwide, it is undeniably, without a doubt, the world's most popular sport. It's a shared passion, right? One that just doesn't require a translator. It is a truly universal language that anyone, anywhere, can understand and just feel.
All right, Section 1, Globalizing the Beautiful Game.
To understand how it got here, it's pretty incredible to see how rapidly the game evolved. We literally start in the 1850s with modern sporting rules taking shape in British mining and industrial towns. Fast forward to the 1890s, and the game is spreading like wildfire, carried by the massive reach of British commerce. This huge momentum leads directly to the founding of FIFA in Paris in 1904. And then, incredibly, by 1930, we get the very first global tournament, the World Cup, hosted in Uruguay.
Now, you might be wondering, how did it spread so fast? Well, it wasn't just some top-down colonial mandate. Sure, British expatriates, sailors, and mining engineers carried the ball with them, but the game really grew organically. It moved through transnational education networks. Over in Africa and Asia, local intermediaries, civil servants, interpreters, local railway workers, they took the game into the interior and just made it their own. And in Latin America, cross-cultural tours in the 1920s created this beautiful two-way exchange of playing styles. It truly, genuinely became the world's game.
Moving on to Section 2, Diplomacy on the Pitch.
So we have this massive global game, right? But how does that translate into actual international relations? Well, academic researchers actually deeply study football's influence on foreign policy. They don't just view it as a weekend kickoff or simple entertainment. They recognize it as a key driver of modern diplomacy. Governments literally leverage the universal appeal of these matches to project positive national images and to foster diplomatic goodwill on a stage where the entire world is watching. The absolute crucial point to grasp here is a concept called soft power. If you haven't heard of it, it's essentially the ability of a country to shape the preferences of others through appeal and attraction, rather than, coercion or force. And let me tell you, football is the ultimate soft power tool. It allows nations to build alliances, showcase their culture, and win hearts and minds without ever deploying military or economic threats. It's brilliant.
This brilliantly illustrates soft power in action. Take a look at the left here. This is the 1998 World Cup match between the United States and Iran. Despite decades of really severe political tension, the players exchanged white flowers and handshakes right there on the pitch. It was this rare, incredible moment of direct interaction and goodwill between hostile nations. Now, look at the right, the 2002 World Cup, jointly hosted by South Korea and Japan. This monumental event required both nations to set aside some deep, historical grievances just to project East Asian unity to the rest of the world. Huge stuff.
Which brings us to Section 3, Football as a Peace Builder.
Because the impact of this game goes even deeper than high-level diplomatic handshakes. In some unbelievable moments, football has miraculously stopped actual, literal violence on the ground. This is truly one of the most breathtaking moments in human history. The 1914 Christmas truce. Right in the brutal, bloody middle of World War I, German and British soldiers actually paused the war. They literally laid down their weapons, stepped out of their trenches into no man's land, and played a 2-day friendly football match. For that brief, incredible window, a shared game triumphed over a global conflict. No way, right? But it happened. And we actually see that exact same unifying spirit actively harnessed today. The legendary Brazilian player Ronaldinho, working as an ambassador for the Football for Peace initiative, probably said it best. He said, "Football has the power to unite the people, taught me universal values of friendship and unity." Today, modern peace-building programs actively use football and its legendary players to empower youth and promote unity in conflict zones all around the globe. In fact, academics point to a specific, modern case study often referred to as Drogba diplomacy. Here, we're looking at the Ivory Coast, which was a nation deeply fractured by a devastating civil war in the early 2000s.
So, picture this. It's 2005, right after the national team qualified for their first ever World Cup. The team captain, Didier Drogba, just seizes the moment. He used a live televised post-match broadcast to make a deeply emotional plea, begging both sides to lay down their arms. And his message resonated so powerfully, it actually helped halt the Civil War. Think about that for a second. Where traditional, high-level politics had completely failed, the voice of a football captain succeeded. It gives you chills.
However, to be totally fair and truly understand the power of this sport, we do have to look at the full picture. The passion football ignites is, well, it's intense. Really intense. While it is predominantly this amazing unifying force for peace-building and cultural dialogue, like we see on the left, it can sometimes act as a catalyst and actually escalate tensions. Take a look on the right. We see the tragic 1969 football war between El Salvador and Honduras. A series of highly charged World Cup qualifiers literally acted as the spark that ignited a 4-day military conflict between the two nations. It just goes to show exactly how much raw emotion is tied up in this game.
All right, moving on to Section 4, the power of mega events.
Today, the sheer scale of this passion is fully realized in modern mega events. Modern event diplomacy is a massive, massive undertaking. Recent tournaments, like the World Cups hosted by Russia and Qatar, utilized global broadcasting to showcase their cultures to literally billions of people, deliberately challenging global stereotypes. On top of that, FIFA actively partners with UN agencies, like the World Health Organization, to promote global causes right alongside the matches. And of course, the players themselves are driving digital diplomacy. They're reaching hundreds of millions of fans directly on their social media to promote messages of tolerance and respect. It's a real game changer.
Finally, Section 5, more than just a game.
As we wrap up this explainer, it becomes abundantly clear that we are talking about something so much larger than just a sport. The absolutely crucial point to take away today is this. Whether it's being played by a bunch of kids on a local dirt pitch or by global icons in a billion-dollar stadium, football is the universal language. It bridges deep cultural divides. It fosters profound empathy and understanding. It opens up channels for dialogue when politicians absolutely refuse to speak. And most importantly, it builds a shared human identity that reminds us of just how much we all have in common.
I want to leave you with this final thought. We've seen football pause global wars, halt civil conflicts, and bring bitter enemies together for a simple handshake. So, what is your favorite unifying football moment? We'd love to know, so tell us in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and share this with your friends for more deep dives into the fascinating forces that shape our world. Catch you next time.